Tianlong 3. Tianlong 3, TL3, pinyin, Tianlong Sanhao, literal translation, Heavenly Dragon 3, is a medium-lift orbital launch vehicle, MLV, developed by the Chinese private aerospace manufacturer Space Pioneer, also known as Beijing Tianbing Technology Co., Limited. It is designed to be partially reusable, with the first stage capable of performing an autonomous vertical landing and being reused up to 10 times. Tianlong 3 is part of Space Pioneer's efforts to develop low-cost, reusable launch vehicles to compete in the growing commercial launch market. It aims to provide launch services for medium-sized payloads to low Earth orbit, LEO, and Sun-synchronous orbit, SSO. The first stage of the Tianlong 3, TL3, is equipped with 9 Tianhua 12, TH12, liquid oxygen, LOX, kerosene, RP1, engines. Each Tianhua engine has a vacuum thrust of 1,350 kilonewtons, 303,492.1 pounds force, a vacuum-specific impulse of 335 seconds, a sea-level thrust of 1,090 kilonewtons, 245,041.7 pounds force, a sea-level specific impulse of 285 seconds, a throttling range of 40% 110%, and a thrust-to-weight ratio of 163. The engines utilize a gas generator cycle and feature pump-fed gimbaling. The first stage propellant tanks have a diameter of 3.8 meters, 12.467 feet, and use the same triangular grid-stiffened shell structure as the 3.35 meter diameter, 11-foot diameter tanks of the Tianlong 2, TL2, first stage. The second stage of the Tianlong 3 is equipped with a single vacuum-optimized version of the Tianhua 12 engine, designated as TH12V. The standard payload fairing of the Tianlong 3 has a diameter of 4.2 meters, 13.78 feet, a height of 12 meters, 39.37 feet, and can accommodate payloads with a diameter of up to 3.8 meters, 12.467 feet, and a height of up to 10 meters, 32.8 feet. An enhanced version of the fairing, with a diameter of 5.2 meters, 17 feet, and a height of 14 meters, 45.932 feet, is also available. The Tianlong 3 is designed to achieve high orbital insertion accuracy, with a semi-major axis deviation of less than or equal to 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles, an orbital inclination deviation of less than or equal to 0.07 degrees, an eccentricity deviation of less than or equal to 0.003, an attitude angle deviation of less than or equal to 0.5 degrees, and an attitude angular velocity deviation of less than or equal to 0.5 degrees per second. On July 24, 2023, the Tianhua 12, TH12, engine, designed for the Tianlong 3, TL3, rocket, successfully completed a full-duration hot-fire test. The test utilized an engine in the flight configuration of the first Tianlong 3 rocket and was conducted at rated conditions for a single burn duration of 100 seconds, accumulating a total test duration of 200 seconds. This test demonstrated that the engine met the flight requirements for the Tianlong 3 rocket. In early January 2024, the TH12 engine completed a calibration hot-fire test for the first flight batch. The test, conducted using an engine in the flight configuration of the first Tianlong 3 rocket, subjected the engine to a 50-second process verification test at rated conditions. During the test, the engine demonstrated rapid startup, smooth operation, and normal shutdown. Later in January 2024, the TH12 engine underwent a spot check hot fire test for the first flight batch, fully simulating the flight conditions of the inaugural Tianlong 3 launch. The test involved 6 consecutive ignitions of the engine without removal from the test stand, accumulating a total test duration exceeding 1,000 seconds. Notably, the single-engine operating time during the test surpassed the planned flight duration by a factor of 6. On June 30, 2024, a Tianlong 3 first stage detached from its stand during a static fire test due to a structural failure, resulting in an unintentional liftoff. The errant stage crashed and exploded in the mountains 1.5 kilometers, 0.9 mile, southwest of the test stand at the Gongyi Engine Test Facility, and no casualties were reported. The test stand was 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles, from the center of Gongyi, a city of 800,000 inhabitants, and less than 1 kilometer, 0.6 mile, from a smaller village. A patent issued in 2023 for the test stand, previously used for Tianlong 2, describes a maximum load-bearing capacity of 5.9 meganewtons, 600 tons force, 1,300,000 pounds force. Space Pioneer stated that the 9-engine first stage had reached a thrust of 8.0 meganewtons, 820 tons force, 1,800,000 pounds force, prior to failure with 200 tons, 440,000 pounds, of fuel remaining, suggesting the partially fueled first stage's net thrust may have exceeded the test stand's designed capacity. The maiden flight of the Tianlong 3 rocket is planned to launch from the Wenchang Commercial Spaceport's LC-2 launch complex. The rocket is expected to carry a payload destined for a Sun-synchronous orbit, SSO. Although the first stage of the rocket is designed for reusability, it is not planned to be recovered during this inaugural launch. The booster completed a successful static fire test on September 15, 2025.